Indian Navy, submarine modernization progress. Subscribe World Action and Reaction News, warn and press bell button for getting notification of all future updates. On March 29, 2018, a chapter of Indian Navy's flying prowess as part of its aviation arm took a farewell bow as 8-142 Mr. Tuploev planes of the Indian Naval Air Squadron, INS 312 were decommissioned after proudly serving the Indian Navy for 29 long years. A poignant ceremonial flypast was held at INS Rajali, India's premier naval air station in Arakkonam, as 142s made their last flights. At the expense of repetition, it needs reiteration that submarines form a vital part in the inventory of any large navy's three-dimensional order of battle, ORBAT. A conventional diesel-powered submarine has less visibility in peace, because it is essentially a vehicle for war constantly working up when not in refit or self-maintenance period, SMP, and executing arduous war patrols fully armed with lethal torpedoes and missiles loaded in congested spaces with long periods underwater. In peacetime, submarines contribute to intelligence operations, and train the surface fleet and anti-submarine planes and helicopters in anti-submarine warfare, ASW, in exercises called CASEXs. Nuclear-powered submarines with potent missiles and torpedoes have endurance underwater and are called SSNs as they are not easy to detect. The nuclear-powered and armed with nuclear-tipped underwater-launched long-range missiles are vehicles for nuclear deterrence called SSBNs. Submarines with special underwater kill torpedoes are also dubbed as submerged submarine killers, SSKs. India needs all these types in numbers as India has two partnering nuclear nations, Pakistan and China, as its neighbours with increasing submarine ORBATs. Submarines pose threats in being. China also has ambitions to base ships and submarines in the Indian Ocean region, IOR, in the long term with captive bases. A submariner's motto is to run deep and run silent, and the underwater service is dubbed as the silent service. Submarines are referred to as man-made stealthy sea monsters, requiring quality and well-trained manpower, and the Indian Navy's submarines are based on both coasts with a submarine training school in Satavana at Vishakhapatnam, and a new submarine base Varsha is coming up south of it on the east coast near Rambili. This will decongest Vishakhapatnam, where nuclear submarines are based and constructed at the Shipbuilding Centre, SBC, in the Eastern Naval Command. The Indian Navy's submarine strength had risen to a healthy 20 modern boats in early 1990s with 7 Foxtrots, 9 new Kilos, 2 new Shishumars and nuclear-powered INS Chakra, which was completing its 4-year lease, 1987–91, from the Soviet Union with highly trained crews. But steadily the ORBAT has been falling with no orders till 2006, and is now down to 14 conventional and 2 nuclear submarines, which include the nuclear Akula INS Chakra on lease since 2012 from Russia and the nuclear-powered homemade INS Arahant with 750 km K-15/B-05 nuclear-tipped missiles. The second of 3 homemade larger nuclear submarine Arayat with an additional plug to accommodate longer-ranged 2,000 km K4 underwater-launched nuclear missiles is in advanced stage of construction, and Russian media reports another Akula is likely to be transferred on lease. The current Navy's detailed ORBAT stands at the aging 9 imported Russian 2,400 ton-kilos with club missiles and Set 65 torpedoes. Unfortunately, INS Sindh-Hurakshak was lost on August 14, 2013 with 18 lives in an internal explosion in the Naval Dockyard Mumbai while she was preparing for a war patrol. The Indian Navy does not have long refit facilities for its 877 EKM kilos and has to send them to Russia for the 2-year-long refits where a submarine is stripped and upgraded at high cost. In Sindh-Huxari arrived at the Zvezdoka shipyard in Syeverodvinsk near where INS Vikramaditya was refitted in mid-June this year aboard the dock ship Roldock Star, and it is reported INS Sindh-Huraj is slated for refit later. INS Sindh-Hukriti was refitted and upgraded with club missiles at the Hindustan Shipyard Ltd, HSL, but the refit took a decade as support in India and expertise was lacking. The exercise to refit 877 EKM kilos in India was given up. The Navy's orbit also includes 4 1,800-ton SUTB torpedo-firing HDW 1500 Shishumars, of which 2 were imported from Germany and 2 INS Shalki, S-46, and Shankel, S-47, were built in India at Mazagon Dock Shipbuilders Ltd, MDSL, Mumbai in 1992 and 1994, respectively, and are being fitted out with Harpoon missiles. The first of 6 2,000-ton Scorpeni submarine INS Calvary built by MDSL and DCNS was commissioned on December 14, 2017 by Prime Minister Narendra Modi and is fitted with the SUBTIC's command and control and SM-39 Exocet missiles, but its torpedo has not been selected. The Shishumars SUTB torpedo was used in the trials. However, it is of concern that 11 of the current 14 conventional boats are over 25 years old. Their quality for war patrols has perforce begun to deteriorate, and nearly a third remain in refit or SMP. In recent times, navies are fitting out plugs of autonomous air independent propulsion (IPE) systems or Stirling engines, to remain underwater with internal breathing for longer duration to avoid coming up to charge batteries and evade detection. Indian Navy plans to enter the IPE regime with its next set of submarines called Project 75, India, for which an RFI for 6 submarines has been issued and replies are expected by October 16. DRDO's Naval Metallurgical Research Laboratory, NMRL, at Ambernath near Mumbai and Larsen and Toubro, LNT, are currently holding trials for an IPE system named Marin with foreign help, as IPE is inescapable for modern submarines. The Defence Acquisition Council, DAC, has approved 8 SSNs to be built in India under a strategic partnership, but progress for even the RFI has been slow, though it is reported design work is in progress by Navy DRDO and LNT in a facility near Gurgaon. This then is a current submarine status report, and there is a genuine lament that the Indian Navy's submarine strength is at its lowest numbers, and the reasons for the decline is because India's inherent security postures since independence have been reactive to threats, and not properly planned, and funds remain constrained, as there is no combined tri-service appreciation of needs. Government has set up a Defence Planning Committee, DPC, with the 3 chiefs under National Security Advisor, NSA, Mr. A.K. Doval, to follow up. Some essential acquisitions in the past have also been cancelled due to corruption charges, and India's submarine plans have been the victims of these policies. The government approved a 30-year 2-line 24 submarines plan as early as 1999, but it could only order 1 line of the 6 Scorpeni submarines in 2006 called Project 75, with option for 6 more. Fortunately, Indian Navy realized the need for nuclear-powered submarines in the 1980s as inescapable vessels, as they can remain underwater as long as supplies allow. DRDO set up the Project Advanced Technological Vessel, ATV, now called Arakkonam, under Naval Command, which has delivered INS Arihant as a made-in-India submarine for nuclear deterrence in a public-private partnership, PPP, with Larsen & Toubro Ltd, LNT, which was provided a full shed on lease at SBC. Navy also set up a very low-frequency, VLF, communication facility in South India, INS Kataboman, for communications with SSNs and SSBNs, which carry the French Nereids underwater antennae, whose role is deterrence and indicates the importance of nuclear submarines in a nation's orbit, especially for a nation like India, which has 2 nuclear neighbors, Pakistan and China. The PLA, Navy, has over 10 nuclear submarines with long-range missiles and is set to supply Pakistan with conventional and nuclear-propelled submarines to be based at Ormara in the future. The Pakistan Navy has operated 3 French Augusta 90B/Khalid and 2 Augusta 70 submarines built and modernized at Karachi, and refitted in Turkey. Pakistan Navy's PN is set to acquire 6/8 double-hulled 6,000-ton type diesel S041 and S039 UN hybrid IPE submarines. Construction of the boats has begun near Shanghai and the first is expected by 2020 at Ormara at PN's Jinnah, where joint work has started with China as it has a naturally protected bay and inlet. Ormara is 120 nm from commercial Gwadar, the other port China operates. CO operating with the United States and Quad partners in ASW in the Indian Ocean will help enhance India's ASW capacity as the Indian Ocean is witnessing China's increasing activity and ambition in the region. Submarines can shape the region's security environment for deterrence, and the Indian Navy faces a significant underwater threat in the years to come, but it is hoped with the speeding up of deliveries of the 5 Project 75 Scorpenny submarines at 1 a year, and SSBN Arayat and another Akula joining, the Indian Navy's silent service will look up. CMDE Ranjit B. Rai is a former Directorate of Naval Intelligence, DNI, and author of The Modern and Future Indian Navy. Views expressed are his personal.
Thanks for watching. I hope you like this news. Please share your views in comment box. Please like and share this video. Press subscribe button and bell for auto update to you regarding my channel World Action and Reaction News. Warn.